And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Kalimaat is the second game from Baba Ali Games. It's a party game, and it says under here, the wacky word game. And we all like party games to be wacky and wild, and this is a game that's specifically targeting the English-speaking Muslim community. And in this game, players are going to be guessing words from cards. It's an interesting party game. I'm not sure that it's wacky, although if you watch the YouTube commercials for the game, they certainly managed to make it wacky. But let's take a closer look at these cards. So we're looking at these cards here. These are two of the cards that are included in the game. There's quite a few cards. Some of them are purple. I'm not really sure what the difference between the purple and the yellow ones are. I thought maybe there was a difficulty difference, but I guess it's just different colors. Anyway, there's 10 words on each card. Now, of these 10 words, one of them is an Islamic word, which if you are not Islamic, the chance of you knowing that word is probably pretty small. That does not diminish the game. The game is difficult enough that you don't need to get all 10 words on the card. Then there's also another word on the card that is a cultural word. That word is in italics. So you can see here Syria, up here 99. Usually you'll know these words, Lebanon, Day of Judgment. But there are occasional times where I don't know those words either. But still you can play the game with the words. Basically the way the game is played is thus. Players are going to split up into different teams, and one person for his team is going to draw one of these cards, and then he's going to use this card to give clues to his teammates. He has 1 minute to do so on this timer, and the other players are watching him carefully from the other teams. He can, in any order he wants, give up clues about the words in this card. He can give up any clue he wants. For example, for niece, he can say, my sister's daughter. You know, as long as he doesn't say the word itself or part of the word, it's fine. It's pretty easy to give clues up. However, when he gives a clue, the players on his team or the other player on his team cannot just shout out the word. Instead, when they know what a word is, they throw a chip. They have 10 chips, one for each word, and we like to throw them in the box itself. It makes a more satisfying thing to do. But once he knows one of the words, they throw a chip in, and the clue giver goes to the next word. Of course, he can go to the next word if they can't throw the chip in or if they can't figure out what the word is. And we keep going until the timer is up or until all the words have been guessed. At this point, another timer is brought out. This is a 30-second timer. And the guessies, or the guessee, or the player on the team who's thrown the chips in, for each chip that they've thrown in, they have to guess the words. Now, as you can see, this is a memory thing. You have to remember what all the words are that you've guessed, and you have only so much time to do it. Once they're done guessing, they'll get a point for each word, which is recorded on a score sheet included in the game. And then, the other team has a chance to guess any words that you might have missed. And so they're sitting there struggling to think of the words also. Very simple game. You keep going till you reach a determined amount of points. The team with the most points is the winner. Very simple game. But not so simple to play. When you're trying to guess these words, as the person reads them out, well, they're not that hard to guess. You're throwing the chips in. Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes there's, what are they talking about? But you can really use anything you want. You can point and say, look at that over there, or it's the thing that John is wearing, or it's inside the cabinet there. I mean, really, there's a lot of open-endedness to whatever kind of clues that you can give out. And so that part of the game isn't that difficult. It's just remembering them. And so the game is really quiet because I'm sitting there as someone's giving out the clue, and I throw a chip in, and I say, okay, I know that word is bread. Okay, I know that word is Jerusalem, bread, Jerusalem, bread, Jerusalem, bread, Jerusalem. Okay, I know that word is sink, bread, Jerusalem, sink, bread, Jerusalem, sink. And that's what you're doing in your head because you're trying to remember all these words. And the other team is doing it too. They're trying to remember as many of the clues as possible so that when you forget, they can remember the words that you didn't say. And I've yet to see a team remember all the words because it's that hard. Now, I suppose, and I haven't tried the game out with kids, that kids would have an easier time of it. Now, you may be scared off by the cultural things on the cards. There, again, you can play the game completely without either the Islamic word and or the cultural word. For our games, we usually knew the cultural word, but I think out of one card we knew the Islamic word because we just don't know those words usually. But the game is interesting. Again, I'm not sure that I would call it wacky and wild, because when you're playing the game, it sounds like this. But at the same time, that doesn't say that it's a bad game. It's a more thoughtful game. It's maybe closer to Password in style with a memory element. So it includes memory and it includes clue guessing. If you think those make a good combination, then you should check the game out. If either one of those scares you, then run the other way. But it certainly is an interesting party game, and I'll certainly look forward to trying it out in the future.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.